What's up, monsters? Welcome to Good Vibes. And of course, it is a special edition of Good Vibes here this Tuesday afternoon. I am joined by none other than pop and R&B artist, celebrity, prince. I don't know what else you want to call him, but here we go. We got James Reid in the house,
Hey, what's up,
y'all.
everybody?
Hey, oh
Hey.
my goodness. It is big shoes to fill for me considering that Rico is always the one interviewing
Yeah, it's
you.
true. I think every time I've been on Monster, it's been Rico.
Yeah, okay. So I will put my own flair in
It's
it.
all good. We're gonna have some fun.
All right,
We don't need
awesome.
Rico.
Ah, hala, he's
We
gonna be
don't
here
need you,
soon.
Rico.
Hala, he's listening. But in any case, welcome to the show. So happy
Thank
to
you so
have you
much.
here. So it's already like mid year. Like half of the year is almost gone already.
Yeah,
So how has it been? How was the summer like for you? The first half.
it's been busy. It's been a busy summer.
Yeah.
So I just celebrated my birthday like 2 weeks ago.
Ah, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
so I had like you know, the birthday turns into birth weekend, and then
Oh, of
turns
course.
into birth month. But yeah, it's been a busy first half of the year for me. Um, Basically, I've been working on music.
Yeah.
I've been in album mode basically,
Nice.
all cooped up in the studio.
How many have you recorded so far?
In terms of like demos,
Yeah, demos
I
lang naman.
I
Yeah.
don't know. If I was to count all the demos I have that are unreleased, maybe there's like 30 plus.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a very productive start of your year.
Yes, but I'm only planning on releasing a handful this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Maybe you'll just put the other demos like on the shelf until such time like you might
Yeah.
want to work on those
No,
things.
I'm hoping they'll eventually come out. But yeah, we're starting with the single that just came out,
Mhm.
"Hurt Me Too," and that's going to be the first single of this EP
Mhm.
that I'm making right now.
That's awesome. And I'm glad you brought that up as well cuz it is your first single under Sony Music. So
Yeah.
what made you decide on this track to be your first release with them?
So I had spoken to Sony, and this was the first track that I showed them.
Okay. Okay.
And with this track, I kind of gave them the vision of where I wanted to go with the music, really just kind of focusing on me as a songwriter and kind of stripping down everything and
Yeah.
really focusing on that. And all the songs I've been writing recently have been very raw,
Mhm. Mhm.
very personal,
Yeah.
and they're about topics that usually I wouldn't write about.
Mhm.
I guess there are things I've tried to avoid in the past, but yeah, this project is very close to my heart, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm so glad that Sony is really supportive of the vision that I have for this, not just for the single, but the whole EP
Yeah.
and whatever is to come after that.
Well, the stripped down version, like I mean, of "Hurt Me Too," basically, when I first heard it, it does sound very different from the songs from you that we would play here because it's mostly
Yeah.
upbeat, right?
I mean, all the way from I think when I started with Palm Dreams,
Yeah.
very like R&B, dance,
Mhm.
electronic, very funky.
Yeah, you can bob your head to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a big jump.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing this one as a bit of a palate cleanser,
Mm-hmm.
especially coming off the track I just released last year and the whole Love Scene album I released,
Yeah.
which is very dance, R&B,
Mm-hmm.
electronic pop. This one, I just wanted to really strip down the music,
Mm-hmm.
even the music video. I wanted to keep it very simple.
Yeah.
And really focus on the storytelling, really focus on the songwriting.
Yeah.
Help Me Too, for example, I wrote it 3 years ago,
Mm.
and it didn't sound the way it sounds today
Mm-hmm.
when I first made the song.
Was it like up more poppy or just...
It was more my sound. Actually, no, it wasn't even my sound before. It started off as like a synth pop track,
Okay.
very
Okay.
upbeat and
Yeah.
very like big synths, very like The Weeknd type thing.
Yeah. So what made you
And
decide to like slow it down?
this was kind of the direction I was hoping to take
Mhm.
to go next after
Okay.
that last album I did that the last album I did, Love Scene, was very. I was very. I was experimenting with all different genres in that one. I had just gone to LA and I was working with so many different producers, so many different genres, um, so many different sounds, and this one I kind of found my like who I am as a musician, and I wanted to start with Help Me Too, just to take away the music and say this is who I am when as a writer.
Yeah.
And the producer that worked on it on this latest version, which is just piano, Tim Marquez. I had played him the song, the original one, and then he would just pull up piano and it's like, I want to hear what you're saying more, and I'd feel it more if it was just piano.
Yeah.
And then he played it that way, and I was just singing over the track, over the piano.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah. Sometimes
So-
less is more.
Sometimes less is more. That's true.
Yeah.
The rest of what I wanted to show really was able to shine, which was the lyrics and the vocals and the messaging and the emotion.
Yeah.
So that kind of sets the tone going forward. And I'm really happy with, Sony's support in that vision. And it's been great building the rest of these songs out with them.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it is such a vulnerable side to you, because it's just the piano and it's just your voice, and like you really get to hear more of you and more of the emotion, as you were talking about it earlier. And so for all the monsters who are listening and watching also on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch right now, could you tell us the story behind Hurt Me Too and what's it about?
So I mentioned I did write it 3 years ago, and one of the first sessions I had there, actually, and the artist I was working with, I was collaborating with, he was like, "What haven't you done yet?" And I was like, "I usually stick to these types of like genres, types of like moods, just like good vibes type of thing." And then he's like, "Okay, then we're making a heartbreak song." And I was like, "Great, this is a great way to break into my first sessions working in LA."
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a 3-hour therapy session before we actually wrote any lyrics, before we actually recorded any vocals, before we actually produced anything. And just talking about life, past relationships, friends that have come and gone, things like that.
Yeah.
And I guess the message that it all boiled down to was sometimes you really try your best and it's just not enough. Things come to an end, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
Bit of a sad realization, but it was really how I felt at the time. And this, I guess, style of writing, really opening up and being vulnerable about the things that I feel like sometimes it's not easy for me to open up about, being in the limelight and all this stuff, and being under the pressure of like show business and fans and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You try to keep this image of being like invincible, I guess, and you have to learn to be, so that you can navigate through all of the noise. Let's just say
only showing like the positive side.
So there was a different experience for me with this song, and I like to think it really changed my perspective when it came to writing. And it was like the first time I really like writing music used to be an escape for me. So if you listen to my songs before, there's that, you hear that like escapism in the way I write.
Right.
But then this one is the opposite. It's like kind of me facing these things head on. And that's really the direction for this whole EP that's coming out.
Yeah.
The things that have been difficult to talk about, things that I felt like people weren't ready to hear, things that I wasn't ready to hear, that I didn't even know.
Did you feel like you needed like that 3-hour session when you haven't even written the song yet, to just like write it all out?
It was a different experience for me. And then the artist I worked with, he was like, "Yeah, it does feel like therapy," because that's what we're supposed to do as songwriters. We take something that's real, and that's how people connect to it, because it's something that's real.
Yeah. So in this case, because you said like songwriting before was an escape, was writing this song more of a healing phase for you, or more of like what kind of
It
phase
was
was
more
it?
of
Yeah.
like a, I would say it was like a healing. It was more of just like coming to terms with what I've been feeling.
Okay. Okay.
And I guess, there's some sort of, not really healing, but like realization
Mm-hmm.
that comes with that.
Yeah.
And it's been great. With this whole EP, I've been able to like turn these really difficult moments of my life
Mm-hmm.
into something that I've really grown and learned from,
Yeah.
and put it into a song. So really, like, this whole process for me has been great. Um,
Yeah.
it has been uh, like cathartic. It has been a lot of, there's been a lot of like self discovery and a lot of moving on, a lot of coming to terms with stuff, and it's been great for me personally. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for everyone to hear these songs. I'm excited for my fans who have supported me for so long
Mm-hmm.
to be able to get to know me in this way,
Yeah.
and not just get to know me through whatever's in the headlines.
Yeah. And what I actually love about this is that, like, the artists would usually come one of two ways, like in releasing albums. Sometimes they would show like I can be bad. I can
Hmm.
do like I could be more of a rebel or something. But then you're taking on this journey now of just like this is who I actually am. This is what I'm actually
Yeah, I think that
going
comes
through.
with maturity. I did that whole like,
Yeah.
let me show you just how careless I can be. I
Mm-hmm.
went through that phase already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, a long time ago,
Yeah.
and yeah, this is a different phase of my life, and I think the music really really reflects that, and you hear it in the song, you see it in the music video,
Yeah.
and yeah, the story is just going to unfold even more as I release these new singles
Yeah.
leading towards the EP.
All right. And so, like, was there hesitation though in you releasing, because this is a vulnerable track,
Yeah,
and like never heard this side of you before, and so did you have any doubts and like, oh my god, I don't know how this is gonna turn out, or were you just confident? It's like, you know what, it's okay. This is me anyway.
it's more the latter.
Okay, good.
um
Yeah.
I was just, I gotta trust my instincts on this one,
Mm,
and uh yeah, it's definitely the most vulnerable, I guess, that I've been when it comes to music.
yeah.
And I think with acting, it's different because I'm playing a character,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. But with the music, these are my stories. So
Mm,
there's that extra level of it being personal.
mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I know everyone, wants to be seen, and they'll like want to jump on TikTok, and everyone just wants to be seen. They want to be seen. But
Mhm.
in my experience, it can be quite terrifying for people to actually see you.
For sure.
It can be quite terrifying for people to see you for who you really are, or behind this thing that they know you for.
Yeah.
So it was both liberating and terrifying releasing this
Mm.
song, also the music video.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so for those who are just joining us, I am here on this in the booth with James Reid. We're talking about his new track called Hurt Me Too. If you guys haven't heard it yet, don't go anywhere. We will be playing it after the interview for sure. So you guys can also send in those questions on the comment section of Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, wherever it is that you're watching, or even to the text line if you're listening on radio. So next thing I wanted to ask is that there's this line actually in Hurt Me Too that goes, what's life without a little fighting, girl? What's love without
A
a
little
little
bite.
bite? So
Yeah.
how has your definition of love changed from when you were much younger to now that you're older, having gone through, your past relationships, your past experiences?
Okay. This goes pretty deep.
Let's
I'm
go.
warning you
I'm
now.
ready. I'm
I'm
ready.
warning you right now.
We got time.
It's obviously it's changed a lot,
Mhm.
from that first like puppy love relationship all the way to,
Yeah.
I just turned 31.
Hmm.
So um, I've had my fair share of love and what's not love.
Hmm.
But I don't know, when I was younger, it used to be like, I just thought it was you and another person, like just connecting,
Yeah.
that was enough. But it's really like since then, and then it became like being understood.
Mm.
that became love for me.
Mm.
And then it became, you know, like a whole bunch of other things. It's really like whatever you're like you lack and you need most in life, that turns out to be what you're searching for and that you think love is.
Mm. Yeah.
And I probably write about it in all of my songs. Most of my songs are about love and what I think it is at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I think it's one of the most mysterious questions.
For sure.
But for me now, I think love is a choice.
Yes.
More than anything, it's what you choose to do every day, who you choose to be with, who you choose to be extra patient with, who you
Yeah.
choose to go the extra mile for, who you choose to understand every day. It's a choice.
And it's a choice you make every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so how do you, with what you, how you understand love now, how do you approach that? Like in, you said that you're much older now. So how are you approaching this new definition of love? Like how are you showing up now, Siguro? Like with yourself, with your personal relationships, with your friends, your family, even?
Um, it's for me, it's like a lot of the things that have been kind of getting in the way of that, or it's been like a process of really just focusing
Right.
on what is good for me
Mm-hmm.
and getting rid of a lot of things that have been bad, and really making that distinction,
Yeah.
and then choosing what's good for me every time.
Mm.
There's a lot of like I guess past trauma or whatever it is that makes me choose like self-destructive behavior, or makes me choose, these certain things. But it's a lot of like getting back to the core of what's good for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's been like the main theme of my life in the past like couple of years.
Okay.
So right now I'm in probably the best phase of my life so far.
That's awesome. That's great. And so, I also, because you mentioned you're trying to, distinguish what's good for you
Mhm.
and what isn't. So, how does it feel? How will you know what's good for you? Like, is there a feeling that you get?
There is.
Mm,
There is.
yeah.
It becomes easier. Yeah.
Nice.
Because there's just less things that you're battling with every day. So that becomes less voices in your head. It becomes less, it feels more like you're going with the current instead of trying
Yeah.
to fight against it.
Nice.
Just by letting go of a lot of the things that just don't make sense anymore.
Got it. That's actually a really good way of realizing what's good for you or what feels good for you
Yeah.
too. Because it's just like,
If
so,
you're struggling so hard just to keep it,
mhm.
maybe it's time to let go.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow, I didn't realize it
monsters.
was going to get this deep.
I
We're
know.
going to talk about music.
I mean, your song went deep also, James.
Yeah, my bad.
We gotta go deep. But anyway, like I really appreciate you sharing also the definition of love for you now and how it's been for you.
No,
And
thank you. Thank you for
also,
asking.
yeah, and I feel like again this is a different phase for you, as you said. So I felt like it was time to ask you some questions that maybe haven't been asked from you.
Sure.
Diba? So also, is it safe to assume, because you said you mentioned you had demos in the works also,
Oh, yeah.
you had about 30 but only would like to release a handful of those, so is it safe to assume that the tracks that follow Hurt Me Too would take on a similar sound and vibe as well?
Yes, actually, it was kind of the track that I built everything else off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like the anchor.
Yeah, that was kind of the anchor,
Mhm.
and the rest of the tracks will kind of build on from there.
Yeah.
But still, very, very raw, very organic,
Mhm.
and really focusing on these stories of mine, these realizations, these
Mhm.
difficult moments, these beautiful moments, and yeah, kind of getting back to like my roots in music as
Mhm.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this EP that you're working on, like who would it be for? Of course it's for your fans, but then is there a specific target audience, so to speak, who would appreciate it more? Maybe something that they're going through or
As I'm writing these songs,
Mhm.
like these songs are from me. more than anything else. And
Okay.
like, it's been very therapeutic for me
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Also, to people that are very close to me, loved ones that, people I really care about. Some of these songs are for them.
Mm-hmm.
But as a whole, when I approached this whole project, I really wanted it to be a way to connect with my audience, my fans
Yeah.
who have supported me for so long, and I wanted to give them an avenue where they could really get to know me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that a lot of uh, the the roles I've played in the past are a good representation of who I am, because that's acting. I also don't think a lot of what they read in tabloids is a good representation, because it's just noise.
Mm-hmm.
People say what they want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then my music was an escape for me, so they couldn't really connect to me through there either.
Right.
So I wanted this to be um, my way to really connect with the fans.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep it as raw and authentic as possible,
Yeah.
so that they could really connect with me and resonate with the music. And I've even written more than half of the songs in Tagalog. Yeah,
Wow.
so I'm
Cool.
really excited. I don't think I've released a Tagalog song in like maybe 13 years. So
Well,
it's
it's
been a
nice
while.
nice to go back to those roots as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure. Is it a little bit more challenging to express in Tagalog or
Oh, it's been so fun.
nice?
I've been working with several local artists to help um, kind of craft these
Yeah.
ideas and the way to express it, and I've really enjoyed it so much. It's like um, it's a totally different process.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
it's
I
a
think
totally different
and I
process.
think also it's just so like there are some lyrics talaga that just sound so much better in Tagalog. It's just much more
Yeah, and then
beautiful
once I've said it in Tagalog, I don't even know how to say it in
in
English anymore,
English.
because it won't make sense once you
Yeah,
translate it.
yeah.
And then some things I said in English, you might translate in Tagalog. It's like that makes no sense at all.
Like it's too literal
It's too
also.
literal, and it's just like, you know,
Yeah, I get that. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's something to look forward to for sure for the fans, and I'm sure they want to hear you sing in Filipino once again. And so I also want to know, like, these experiences. Then I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to, and I think in a way, it could be reassuring for you to have these fans like be with you on your journey as you
Hmm.
like unravel who you are or reveal who you are through this next phase too. So I think that's a really it's such a warm, what do you call this? It's such a warm welcome to yourself and a warm welcome to everybody to knowing who you are
Hmm.
as well. So what can fans expect from this new EP that you're working on? And is there a date and when you are planning to release this?
Is there a date? I've been saying a date a
Mm,
lot recently, but I'm not sure if it's.
not sure. Tentative.
Yeah, just follow me on IG, TikTok, everywhere, and stay updated. But I expect I'm aiming for this whole project to be out within the year.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so very soon,
All right. And so you
very soon.
mentioned also earlier, this is more of a palette cleanser, but do you feel like you could go back into like the more pop synth kind of music?
I'll definitely
Yeah.
when the um I'm definitely going to release like a lot of those tracks, the more dancey, like R&B
Yeah.
tracks.
Hmm.
It's what I grew up with as well,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But for this particular phase,
Yeah.
um, I wanted to make it very cohesive. I wanted to everyone to really be able to come into my mind and into this feeling, into this world.
Yeah.
So uh, for this project, they can expect a very different sound than what they've heard so far.
All right. Yeah. And so we're nearing the end of the interview. And I know a lot of you fans who are watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch as well. You all have so many questions. But I also want to know from you, James, as we wrap up, in the years that you've been in the music industry, what could you say is like the biggest lesson that you take with you in the following phases or in the next phases of your career?
Um, wow. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I've gone through so many different, um, phases in my career. There's so many industries, um, and I think what stuck to me the most was really just staying true to what you believe in,
Mm,
and it doesn't matter what's happening around you. It may seem like things are falling apart. It may seem like from the outside you made the wrong move, or why did you go and do that?
mhm.
Stick to what you know. Don't switch lanes. But you just have to stick to it, and eventually things will fall into place. Things take time to change, especially when you want to make a huge, life change,
Yeah.
and it takes time for the rest of the world to catch up.
Yeah.
So you just got to stick to your guns.
All right, there
Yeah.
we go. Thank you very much, James Reid, for joining me on Good Vibes. Rico is here also.
Rico.
He'll drop by in just a little bit. But before we go, James, go ahead and invite everybody to listen to Hurt Me Too.
Yes, Hurt Me Too is out now on Spotify, Apple, everywhere, here on the Monster. So please go and check it out. And you can also watch the music video. It's out now on my
Right.
YouTube channel. It's a um, it's a very different music video from what I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Very emotional. But please, I would love for everyone to go and check it out, and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. And also a lot of fans here in the comments saying that they love the music video as
Oh,
well.
thank you guys. I
So
love you. Thank you.
so
Thank you.
there we go. Thank you to all the monsters who have kept it locked and who have joined me in this interview with James Reid. Of course, it is a pleasure once again. And we will go back to more music, and we will, of course, end this interview by playing James's new song, Hurt Me Too, right here.
Hurt me too.
Hurt Me Too. Only here on The Monster. Bye.
Gently.